right, so one thing you guys have to make sure you remember, okay? Remember on the homework for the first section, 2.2a, there was a question that said, when do you switch directions of the sign when solving an inequality? And the answer was when you multiply or divide by a negative number on both sides, right? That's one of the questions on your quiz, okay? So when you're doing this, okay, I'm going to put just an abbreviated version of it, but when do we switch the inequality when solving? This is a shortened question, okay? It's not the same one. On the quiz, it's going to say, when do you switch the direction of the sign when solving an inequality problem? That's what it's going to say in the actual quiz. But when do you switch the inequality when solving? And we said, when you multiply or divide both sides. Make sure you guys include those words right there, okay? Both sides of an inequality by a negative number. Okay, so when you multiply or divide both sides of an inequality with a negative number. All right, so that is going to be one question. So I'm giving you one of them for sure. Okay, now there's going to be a total of 13 questions on the quiz tomorrow. Okay, so there's one of them. The other 12 are going to be actual, just like problems. Okay, so we'll do a couple of the normal looking ones, those from 2.2a, and then we'll jump to the and ors immediately, so we can practice more on those. Okay, so here's example number 1. So, and I am choosing some of the more weird looking ones on purpose, because the easier ones, I mean, those are supposed to be easier. I don't have to kind of practice those, hopefully. There are some that just say like 4x plus 5 is equal to 8x minus 2. Like, pretty straightforward, okay? But there are some that look like this. We'll do a little bit of each, okay? So we'll start off with one of these. And we want to solve this, okay? I'm going to kind of put solve up here just as the overall directions for everything. Just want to solve, okay? So we are going to distribute, right? Try to see if you can beat me to the end of these things. But we are going to distribute this. Okay, so let's start with this 8 right here. So negative 3 plus 7x less than or equal to 64x plus 48 minus 6x. Now remember, if there's something you're not understanding, stop me, okay? Just let me know that you need explanation. Now on the right side, I'm going to combine my like terms. So I know 64x minus 6x can be combined. So I put negative 3 plus 7x less than or equal to, what is that going to be? 58x plus 48. Okay. Now, let me move the 7x to the right side. That's the smaller one. So I get negative 3 less than or equal to. If the 7x was positive and I move it to the other side, it becomes negative, right? So that's 58 minus 7. That's 51. Plus 48 at the end. Now let's move that 48 over to the left-hand side. All right, so sorry about that. I mentioned to move the 48 over, that becomes negative 51 less than or equal to 51x. So all I got to do now is divide both sides by 51. Do I have to flip the symbol if I divide both sides by a positive number? No, right? So this is just going to become negative 1 less than or equal to x. All right, so let's draw a line here. I'll put my answer in the middle. Again, you guys, as you guys can see, you will be provided with lines already, so you can use those or you can use your own. It's up to you. Okay. Now, I know my answer is -1. It says less than or equal to. So is that solid or an open dot? What is it? Solid dot, right? So let me put a dot, nice solid dot at -1. Again, I always draw my graphs above the lines. I never draw them on the lines. It just makes it easier for me to see. Now, am I going left or right? Notice the x is on the right side. Go ahead. It's going to be going to the right. Okay, I know it's pointing left, but remember the variable is on the right side, so that means it's going the opposite way. Right? So if it's on the opposite side, it goes the opposite way. There you go. That would be considered a hard problem for this quiz, just so you know. Okay? That one's considered a hard problem. Notice I'm flipping the page right now. Let's do one more of these, and then we're going to go to just the and or ones, because I know those are the ones where you guys have to kind of listen to a lesson, try to understand it on your own, and then from there try to solve everything else. So here's another. So again, I'm just doing the ones that look like the most difficult from the quiz, well, the different version of the quiz. I'm not doing some of the easier ones. I figure the easier ones you won't struggle with. It's probably going to be the harder ones that might make you a little bit confused. So, do this really quick. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to distribute, just like we did the last time, right? That gives me 102 less than 12k plus 6. I don't have to combine any like terms in terms of variables, but I could combine the 6. I can move it over to the left-hand side. So that's going to be -6, so that's going to be 98. Nope. That's incorrect. 96 is less than 12k. Okay? So, did I do that right? 12k plus 6, yeah. Subtract 6 is 96. All right, so we're going to divide both sides by 12. And that's going to give me a k on the right side. 96 divided by 12. Does that go in evenly? 8. So, yeah, 8 times 12, that's, well, 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1 over, so it's 9, so 96. So we get 8 as our end. Thank you. So let's make a really quick number line here. Doesn't have to be too big, just enough to be able to cover the numbers. So I'll put 8 in the middle, 9, 10, 7 here, 6 there. Empty or solid circle? Empty, right? Which direction? To the right. Again, I know it's pointing left, the little inequality, I know it's pointing left, but since the variable is on the opposite side, you got to go the opposite way. All right? Now, if the k was on the left side and it said less than, then I would have gone left. Okay? It depends where that variable is. If it's on the left side, follow the arrow. But if it's on the right side, do the opposite direction. Okay? Are we okay with these? Not too bad, right? So let's just put in the, let's put in the ones that are the and the ors, the ones that might have been a little bit more confusing to you guys. By the way, homework is due tomorrow because that's the quiz day, right? So please make sure you guys have worked on it. Hopefully you're done with it. You had 4 days, so no reason why you shouldn't be, but I remember being a teenager many years ago, and actually that would be a lie. As a teenager, I was super punctual. So I was the type of kid when they assigned someone, the teacher would say, you got 2 weeks to do an essay on such and such, I would get it done in 2 days. Okay, why? Because I didn't want to waste 2 weeks trying to do research. I could get it done, and then I could just relax for the next 2 weeks. Right? So I was a little bit more on the aggressive side when it came to doing work, because I didn't want to have it over my head. All right, so here we go. Let's do some ands, some ors, and then some that combine. I know There were somewhere they were combined and stuck together, right? On the homework. So we'll do some of those as well. So let me put solve up here. Compound inequalities. Okay, just so you know that these are a little different because they're compounded. These are two different problems at once. So here we go. I'm going to put right here negative 2x minus 5 is greater than negative 19. And I'm going to kind of highlight that for us because that tells me that the lines should be crashing towards each other. If it's an and problem, they should be coming towards each other. And my answer is going to be whatever they have in common. Okay? So and is very important to note. And they collide or they go away from each other. Okay? So, all right, we got to solve both of these. So that's the bad news with these, right? Like I got to do two problems at once. So let's move this negative 5 over. All right, so that's going to give me a negative 2x greater than. If I add negative 5, I'm going to get a negative 14. Okay? And then if I divide both sides by negative 2, do I have to flip the symbol here? Yeah, so it's going to become a less than 7. So there's one answer, x less than 7. Now, let's do the other side. I'm going to add the 9 over to the negative 44. Okay? When I add the 9 over to negative 44, that becomes a negative 35. And this will be 7x. I'll divide both sides by 7. X, well, since I'm not dividing both sides by a negative, I don't have to switch it. So it's greater than negative 5. So, remember, this is an and problem. Okay? I'm going to put it right here again. And. So let me go ahead and make a number line with these numbers. Now if you're thinking, oh man, that's going to be a huge number line. Right? Well, you can do it however you'd like. I can really cheat and just use two numbers, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try just doing odd numbers, okay? So let me try, I got to go to negative 5. So let me try negative 7, negative 5, negative 3, negative 1, 1, 3, 5, and 7. If you wanted to just do negative 5 and negative 7 only, you could. That's fine. It's up to you, okay? These will be pre-drawn for you on the quiz, so don't worry. But when you have to draw it yourself, you don't have to put every number on there. All right, x less than 7. So x less than 7, open circle, going to the left. Next one, x greater than negative 5, open circle, going to the right. Now, if you guys remember in the lesson, I told you, since it says and, it's whatever they share, right? Whatever they have in common. So let me highlight what they have in common. You guys agree that's what they have in common right there? So your final answer, I'm going to put it in black here. It's going to look like this. Just like that. Okay? That's your final answer. Notice you keep the form of the dot. So if there are open circles, keep them open circles. If one is open, one is closed, keep them open and closed. Okay? And then just draw the line that connects them. That's the only difference that we were doing on Thursday's lesson. So it's not like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. But you do have to know and goes towards each other or goes away from each other. Okay? So there's that answer. I'm going to kind of put this whole big thing in a box here. Okay? But if you don't want to draw this part, so let me kind of erase it. If you're like, yeah, I don't need to draw that, I can just do that one line all by myself, no big deal, then do it. Do it. The reason why I do the step by step is because not everybody can picture the thing in their head, what it looks like, right? Some people can, but not everybody can. So I like to do step by step, highlight, right? Make sure I show you what's going on. So let's do an OR problem. And then one more AND problem, and then we're done. I'm looking for an OR here. I guess this will work. 10R plus 7 is less than or equal to 8R plus 1, or 2R plus 9 is less than 7R minus 1. There are some that are easier than this. I'm just trying to do some that look a little longer so that you're like, okay, I can do the longer ones, I should be able to do the shorter. Okay? Again, this is an OR problem. So since it's OR, it should be going in opposite directions. Sometimes they go the same direction, but should be going in opposite directions. So here we go. Let's solve. First one, let's combine like terms. I'm going to move the 8R over to the left. So let's do that. That gives me 2R plus 7 is less than or equal to 1. Remember, it becomes a 2R because the positive 8R becomes a minus when I move it over. So that becomes a 2R. Now let's move the positive 7 over to the right. That becomes a negative 7. So 1 minus 7 is negative 6. Now I'll divide both sides by 2, right? So dividing both sides by 2, I get R less than or equal to negative 3. Remember, guys, no AirPods in your ears. Make sure you guys take those off. So there's my answer for the first one. Okay? Now again, I'm going to write OR here because I know there has to be OR. It's important. So let's go to the other one. I'm going to move the 2R over to the right side. Okay? So 7R minus 2R, that's 5R. So it's 9 less than 5R minus 1. Okay? And then let me move the minus 1 over to the left. So I'm going to move that over. That becomes a plus. That's 10 less than 5R. I kind of like this problem because one of them's going to look normal. The other's going to have the letters on the wrong side, right? And that's okay. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So that's going to give me a 2 less than R. So I need a number line that includes a negative 3 and a 2. Okay, so I'll do that really quick. Just so you guys know, whenever I do number lines now, this is all I really do. And I'm just going to leave it like this. Those are my two answers. I just make sure both of my answers are on it. I make sure they're in the right place. And that's it. Okay? If you want to put a 0 in for reference, go ahead. But I don't. I don't like to do it. I just leave it like that. I tell people this is the lazy way to do number lines. It's correct. It shows you where the numbers are and everything. So, all right. R less than or equal to negative 3. That is a solid dot. Left or right? Left. Okay. The next one. 2 less than R. That is an open dot. Left or right? Right. There we go. We're done. Okay? That's your answer for that one. So that's what OR kind of looks like. Okay? It's this way or that way. Okay? And it's like, oh, we're kind of crashing towards each other. What do we have in common? Right? So I'm going to do one more of these, and that's it. I'm not going to do any more, because I don't know if I'm going to be running out of time anyway. I still got 10 minutes, but I don't want to go all of them. But this last one is just in case these confused you on the homework. It's the ones that were kind of combined. I'm looking for a better one, though. This one's not really good. What if I do... I just made this up. I hope it works. Usually they're going to be okay. But all right. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can create two problems all at once, okay? Or you can just work it all at the same time. And I think on the lesson, how did I tell you guys to work it all at once? Two problems. Okay. So So you guys know the MasterCard logo, right? Two circles, right? That's what we're going to basically do. We're going to create one here. Let me change the ink here. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to do this one. Now you could do it all at once. I mean, you could just add 4 to both sides. You can divide by 2 to both sides. It's actually quicker. But sometimes people don't understand that. So we kind of do the little MasterCard symbol. And that's what I'm going to do. All right? So let me write them out really quick. The first one is -10 less than or equal to 2x plus 4. And, okay, this is an and problem. 2x plus 4 less than or equal to 8. Right? So from here, go ahead and start solving. So we'll move the positive 4 over to the left. That's -14 less than or equal to 2x. Then I get to divide both sides by 2. So 2 on both sides, I get -7, less than or equal to x. So that one's done. Okay. And then I still have the other side. Let me move the 4 over. That's 2x less than or equal to 4. Because 8 minus 4 is 4. Then I divide both sides by 2. And I get that x is less than or equal to 2. Remember, this is an AND problem. So they should be crashing towards each other. I'm going to make a number line. And now I'm going to, again, do it the lazy way. -7 and 2. Right? As long as I have the points of reference, that's all I need. All right, for -7. Is that empty or solid circle? Solid, right? It says less than or equal to. Which direction? To the right. All right, for the next one. X less than or equal to 2. Solid or empty? Solid. Solid. Which direction? Left. I got to figure out what they have in common, which is pretty easy. It's right here. All right, that's what they have in common. So let me just create the new solution. So from here to here, and I just connect the dots. And that's my end. Again, if you don't want to draw the bottom ones that I did, that's okay. That's fine. As long as you give me the one in black. Okay, because that's the actual final solution. So this is what you guys have for tomorrow's quiz. It's only 2 sections. Like I said, sometimes we only do 2 because that's what time's allowed. Okay, and that's what.